Hi boys and girls, Miss Carol here. I'm going to sing a song. It's a patriotic song that I wrote, and it goes with the story I'm going to read today called Military Mommy, and that story is about my daughter. But first, let's get to the song. It's called Imagine That America. Imagine if America had never been. Imagine that we lost what we set out to win. We don't want to take our country for granted. Imagine that America was only a dream. No children in the schoolyards where freedom bells ring. Oh, God will bless the traveler wherever he may roam. There are many countries, but there's no place like home. For here in America, we help each other through, and men from every nation come to make their dreams come true. That's part of the song. I'm going to get into the story here in a minute. The story is called Military Mommy, written by Carol Dabney. It's a true story about my daughter, and it's before I learned how to illustrate stories, so all the pictures in here are actual photography that I took during her time at boot camp and her first duty station. When you're starting to write stories, it always seems best to start with stories that you know about. One of my first stories, big story, was called Dance Me Home. And it's a military love story about my own father, Robert Jones Jr., when he joined the Navy during World War II. This is his Navy hat that he wore after he retired. He wore it all the time. Then he gave it to me. Oh, another Navy man is Mr. Rod. You know Mr. Rod. He also wrote about things that he knows. He was in the golf business for 40 years. So what do you think he wrote about? Golf. So he has The Adventures of Andrew on the Golf Course, and he has a series of 5 books. Also, I have one really neat thing to show you. Mr. Rod was on a submarine. And this is a replica of the Nautilus, which is the submarine that Mr. Rod spent his time in during his war. All right, I think we'll get started with the story. Military Mommy. Here's the cover of it. It was just Mommy and me. She said we'll have fun. So she joined the Army when I was just 1. She went to boot camp, and I learned how to talk. While she ran drills, I learned how to walk. I guess you realize by now, this story is from the point of view of her little son, Noah, who at the time was only 1. Defending our country, may wisdom guide her. That's my mom, an American soldier. And I always like to point out that she's the one in the middle, and all these soldiers are women, and all these soldiers are mommies. And that's why we have the title of the book, Military Mommy. She went to college, and I went to daycare. We were both working really hard, year after year. Now you see Noah's getting a little bigger. From leadership skills to driving really big trucks. ROTC inspired her to never give up. Can you say that with me? Make a fist. Never give up. That's a good motto to have. Never give up. The leaders who challenged and put her through the test, she honors them now by giving her very best. And these pictures are of Lieutenant Melissa Dabney and her aunt, Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Phyllis Jones, and one of her teachers, Thomas Walker, who is an Army teacher. He taught her band. Some of the best times for Mommy and me were at Christmas time with all the family. I loved playing with Grandma, I'm glad to report. While Mom did her training at the Virginia Fort. There he is with a cousin. In Washington State, she learned leadership skills. From coast to coast, she learned even more drills. The gals in the Army, they know how to play, but when they're at work, get out of their way. I loved when she'd call me and sing me a song. Then I would keep singing long after she'd gone. I'd hold her picture till we were together, praying, "Dear Lord, please don't forget her." Then graduation came with lots of good cheers. Hurrah! Can you say that with me? Hurrah! This is the start of many good years. The friends we have met and the ones yet to know. We're keeping them all wherever we go. Then we moved far away in the month of September. I was just 5, but I'll always remember. Look at that. Noah is growing up in this little story. He's 5, and look where he's pointing. Do you see that? He's pointing in the middle of the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean. There is a duty station in the Hawaiian Islands, and that's where they went. On an Army base, we have to have picture IDs. When we come through the gates, we have to have these. Now we live at Schofield Barracks, and the Army is our home. There's lots of families, so we're never alone. And there's Noah getting on the plane. That's a very long ways from where he started out in Arkansas. Mom says we've got to give new things a whirl. So we will be traveling all over the world. Now that we're in Hawaii, my favorite places so far are the ocean and the big library. There's a picture of the ocean and the library. But not the long lines at the commissary. Can you tell by the picture what a commissary is? The commissary on an Army base is simply the grocery store. My first day at Schofield, I found a playground. I had lots of fun with the friends that I found. He's climbing a plumarium tree. They look kind of scruffy on the bottom, but on the top of this tree comes beautiful flowers, and the Hawaiians make beautiful flower leis that they can put around your neck or around your head. Soldiers get up really early to run. Mom says they get up to wake up the sun. They run in large groups. They all seem so proud. They march in their troops. shouting quite loud. Hop, 2, 3, 4, hop, 2, 3, 4. I just want to sleep longer in my little bed, so I pulled the covers up over my head. Just when it got quiet and I drifted back to sleep, why, those soldiers, they came running back down our street. Hop, 2, 3, 4, hop, 2, 3, 4, hop, hop, hop. Halikula is the name of my school. In the Hawaiian language, it means house of learning. Now, I think that's pretty cool. The first day at school, I was given a lei, which meant to all, it's my very first day. Those flowers, they smelled good. But the best part was lunch, where I filled up my tummy. Isn't that the way it usually is all around the United States and the world? I'm so happy at the end of the day when Mom says, let's go to the PX so we can play. My mom is a United States Army officer, and I'm really proud when others salute her. Now, she showed me how we need to salute. You put all your fingers together, and you put your fingers at the bottom of your eyebrow. And you'd say, yes, sir. Or in this case, because she's a woman, we would say, yes, ma'am. Can you say that with me? Salute. Yes, ma'am. Very good. Mom makes calls and works at a desk. Sometimes she gives orders to those who do all the rest. She's a quartermaster. It means that she handles supplies. But when she goes to PT, she is just like one of the guys. That's an M16 rifle. But I think she's the prettiest lieutenant here when she puts a flower in her long flowing hair. She is indeed very beautiful, I think. Maybe she takes after her mother. Could be. We really lucked out at our first duty station, the most beautiful one in the entire nation. So on her days off, we swim under the sun. Turns out she was right. We are having fun. And that's the story of Military Mommy, pretty much my first book about my grandson Noah and my daughter Melissa Dabney. This was some years ago, and since then I read this book many times to many places. And the children all ask me, where is Noah now? Do you know that he's a great big teenager now? And I have many more books I'm going to share with you, The Adventures of Noah, in the next episode, next time I read. And Lieutenant Melissa in this book is now a commander. She's a captain in the Army. I'm very proud of her. And we're very proud. She has gone to war, and that's what this flag is all about. When your soldier goes to war, you put up the soldier's flag. And when my sister went to war, you hang it on the windows or the doors of your home so people passing know that you have a soldier at the war and to pray for them. And so that's pretty special. Well, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and thank you for listening to my story, Military Mommy. If you'd like a copy, my story's on Amazon, as are all my stories and music. Well, keep smiling, keep singing, and have a wonderful day. God bless America.